Short disclaimer. I finished the script and most of the editing before Sary Neverclear was rated, so I had to change a few things, and I'll just give you my quick opinion on the level now. This level is just a bad joke, and it's funny to me that it's actually rated. It looks really bad, except the last ship. I honestly really like the last ship, but other than that, the level isn't worth talking about. So with all that said, let's start with the video. What's up fuckers, and welcome to a new shitty video. If I release this video in time, it should be Christmas now, so Merry Christmas everyone, and if not, Happy 4th of July everyone. Fuckers, do you know the difference between the current top 10 and my videos? There is none. They are all equally boring to watch, and that's what I want to talk about today. But before we begin, don't annoy me in the comments with this. You can't judge them because you have never played them. Bullshit. Yes, I can judge them, you moron. But I will judge them from a viewer's perspective. So don't pretend you can judge them any different. Of course I never played any of them, because these levels are harder than my dick when I visit the zoo again. My main goal
is to blow up.
My main goal is to say my opinion about the deco and what the overall level looks like, and maybe start a discussion in the comments. The current top 10 could be the best we ever had gameplay wise, but that's not what I will be talking about here. First I want to talk about Calculator Core. I feel like nobody is talking about this level, and I don't really know why. Obviously it's a remake of Artificial Ideology, plus an extension, and in my opinion the creators did a good job. They managed to capture the feeling of Artificial Ideology, while also making something fresh and new. The decoration is well done most of the time, and kinda reminds me of my own style. Some parts don't feel as alive as other parts, which makes them a bit boring, but that doesn't have a huge impact on the overall level. I'm a huge fan of the dark grey style in general. I just don't really like colors, because I'm a filthy edgelord. The extension is also really well implemented and doesn't feel out of place for the most part. The gameplay looks alright, but I think it can be boring sometimes, because it's such a long level. It's fast paced but not too fast, which I really like. Overall I would say it's a good extreme demon, but it's still far from perfect. Next we have Thinking Space. To say it as nice as possible, you can tell it's an early 2.0 level. To those who played back then, I'm sure you remember that almost every level looked as bad as Thinking Space. Obviously it doesn't hold up to today's standards, but it still looks better than everything Alkali ever made. I heard there is a remake in the making, but I'm not sure if it got cancelled already. The gameplay looks cancerous, period. The first half is literally hard demon difficulty, while the rest is incredibly hard. The only reasons why it's rated are obviously the difficulty, and its status in the community. It's a shit level. Next on the list we have Cold Sweat. Fuck Cold Sweat, bad level. Next. I'm joking. I'm simping for Cold Sweat. Okay, where do I start with this? The block decoration is very simplistic, which I usually hate, but in this case it's a good thing, because it perfectly fits the crazy effects Para used in this level. The effects are really unique and well done throughout the whole level. They contribute the most to the overall atmosphere of the level. The song choice is also perfect. The gameplay also syncs well, although, some of you might say it's just an original spam, and I kinda agree, but also disagree. I think the stressful and hard spam sections combined with the effects work really well in this level. They make the level feel even more crazy and unique. To be fair, the effects carry the level a lot. If it wasn't for the effects, the level wouldn't be nearly as good, and the spam would probably feel boring. To sum it up, the level is not perfect, but it's one of the best effect levels ever made. Next we have Revenant, Renobank, Renovate, Renovant. Even though I put this in my 5 levels that must be featured video, I don't really like it. The deco isn't good, even if it's 3 years old, but Necro did a good job making it feel like an Allegiance sequel. The gameplay looks good, but most people don't like this kind of gameplay. I like it though. The sync is okay, I guess. Now we have Crimson Planet. As you would expect, I find it boring to look at. The deco doesn't stand out, and is just forgettable. It kinda reminds me of hell-themed levels from around 2017, like Devil Vortex, or Yatagarasu. The level feels dead, since there is nothing that makes it feel at least a bit alive. The gameplay looks good and syncs well, but from what I've heard, people don't like the gameplay. I like the song, but I have a weird music taste. That's all I can say about the level, since it offers nothing that's worth talking about. Next we have Kinos. The origin of an overused meme. Just like Crimson Planet, it's just another hell-themed level, but Kinos isn't as boring as Crimson Planet. Most parts are still forgettable and boring, but some parts actually don't look that bad. The beginning section for example. I really like it. The gameplay doesn't look too bad, even though it's basically just buff Sakupan hell. The beginning and extension also don't feel out of place. I'm usually not a huge fan of extensions, because most of them are just poorly done or feel out of place, just like the SWI extension. I would say Kinos is not a bad level, but also not a good level. I honestly just don't care about it. I haven't really been excited when it came out. Now we reach the top 3. Zodiac is another overhyped level. The decoration is generic as fuck, and all parts are just forgettable. If you would show me a random part of the level without sound, I wouldn't be able to tell that it's from Zodiac. That's how forgettable most parts are. The only part I really like is Samifying's part. His style is really unique, but still fits in the level. But I have to admit, all parts fit well together, but that's just because they are all equally generic. The gameplay seems fine though, it flows well and fits the song. From what I've heard, it's a pretty accessible top demon because of its length. Overall, I don't really like Zodiac, and in my opinion, it's just an overhyped top 3 level. Next we have the Golden. People will hate me for this. People will hate me for this whole video, but the Golden is one of the most boring looking levels out there. It's the same boring style throughout the whole level. This wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, if it wasn't so boring. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate the style, I just don't like that the same idea was used throughout the whole level with only minor changes. Honestly, I don't feel anything when looking at the Golden. Even when it was verified, I was just like, congratulations to Enswish, I guess, but that's it. Now, last but not least, we have Tartarus. Tartarus was just made to be difficult, but that isn't always a bad thing. The decoration isn't great, but also not bad either. Some parts look like they just tried to make a 1.9 level look a bit more modern. The whole level reminds me of the good old Geometry Dash days, where every hard level used the song Club Step. I know, that's just some nostalgia bullshit most of you can't relate to. Because most of you weren't alive back then. I probably wouldn't like Tartarus at all, if it wouldn't make me feel nostalgic. I would say the level is okay, but nothing special. The beginning of the level just screams impossible, and every hard level back then used to begin like that. All I have to say about the gameplay is that you can tell that most of the gameplay was made a few years ago. The level used to be called Silent Akbar. But what is a Silent Akbar? Other than that, I don't feel anything when watching a video of it. It's honestly sad to see that the quality of the levels in the top 10 used to be really high back then, but now it's probably at an all-time low. Anyway, that's it for this video. Let's see if this video hits 100 views, or if my channel is completely dead. Bye.